Hey there, hey y'all. This is Anne Marie, Bold Girl Will Travel. I want to make a quick video because I've had this in my mind. Well, I'm going to share in this video something I've been thinking about for a while, but I was trying to decide whether I want to talk about it on social media, but I'm going to. We can consider this my pre-Thanksgiving midweek musing for this week. Y'all enjoy me talking about dating, so I'm going to share some truths about dating when you are traveling and especially living abroad that a lot of people don't talk about. But I was watching a video from a sister who lives in Italy. I'm not sure she lives in Italy. She lives somewhere in Europe, but she was talking about her experience dating, and she was talking about it in the context of the Danish deception, of course, which is sweeping TikTok and social media. And I talked about it in my previous video earlier this week, so I will link that to this video. But she was talking about the fact that people like to push this idea on social media that Black women need to date outside their race, and specifically they need to date white men. And there are several people, there's one in particular I can think of on TikTok who calls himself, their fairy god brother, and he's a dating coach, and he's constantly pushing this narrative, and that's fine. Like I said, I think people should date whoever they want as long as they're doing it for the right reasons. But what she was pointing out is that this often opens women, especially Black women, to scammers. And especially in Europe, where European men are also aware that they're being sold as a great option. And a lot of them are not. You always need to I always have to remind people that the ancestry of most white Americans are European. And so white supremacy was imported along with all the colonizers. And that mentality was birthed on the continent of Europe, Great Britain, Netherlands, elsewhere. And then they went and took it all across the world and have caused a lot of pain and despair across the globe because of their desire to go everywhere, take whatever they want, and then plant their flag and claim everything belongs to them. And it's not just the Britain, it's the Netherlands, Belgium. It's so many of those countries. And those people are the ancestors of a lot of the people that you are interacting with in the United States and dealing with to this day with their innate belief in their superiority. And it is spread everywhere. So when you interact with them, that is often a thing that you have to interact with. And when you are dating them, it is a thing that you have to interact with. Because a lot of Europeans believe that somehow they're less racist than Americans. And it's not true. Most of them that I've interacted with have the same white supremacy, whiteness complex. And when you're dating them, you have to interrogate and make sure you're not sleeping with the enemy. And now that this narrative is being pushed that they're somehow superior to Americans, and I'm not saying that they're the same. They're definitely not the same, because I've dated on multiple continents at this point. And they're definitely not the same, but yet they are the same, if that makes sense. So I think it's important to ask a lot of the same questions you would be inquiring about when you are dating people, especially if it's something you're dating for finding a partner versus just for experiences. And I talked a little bit about how I think about dating at this point in my life. I'm not looking for a partner, definitely not looking for a husband, but I still like to inquire and ask people questions because I'm intellectually curious, and it will often expose people's racism and their biases. So definitely engage in that. But I also think that a lot of us need to put aside this romanticizing of Europeans, but really romanticizing of dating abroad, period. Because in a lot of places, they may not see you as Black, especially on the continent of Africa. We all are the same color for the most part, but you are American to them. And a lot of people believe that because you're American, you must be rich. And maybe some of you are, but I'm not. And so I'm always on guard when I'm dating for men who are also looking for a purse. As I said to you all, I have no interest in being a nurse or a purse. So it's something I've always got my radar up for. And I have found that in dating and living abroad, that a lot of men, they know you're American, they think you have money, they want to get in your wallet. I have definitely seen it here in Mexico. And so one of the things I want to talk about is the importance of not lowering your standards relevant to how you conduct yourself when you date and travel and move abroad. If you're saying that when you live in the US, you're not going to give a man your money, pay a man's way, pay for them to go on vacation with you, etc. Don't do that when you move abroad, and don't make excuses and rationalizations about, oh, the socioeconomic situation, oh, there's less money, blah, 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 blah. Really, really focus on being economically equally yoked with people as much as possible. Otherwise, you're going to end up making yourself a target, and you're going to come away with a bad taste in your mouth. I will be completely transparent. I made a lot of mistakes in my younger years. I was financially doing really well by the time I was in my mid-30s, and a lot of men that I dated were asking me for money. And I'm talking about black men that I dated, because that's who I was dating in my 30s and even early 40s. And so I'm not going to pretend that black men will not try to take advantage of you financially, because they will if you let them. But you have to acknowledge that most of us who have been through this with men, we let them do it. And when you get to a place of real self-love and self-worth, you will stop doing those things. And what I'm saying to you is, if you come to the realization that you have been a person that allowed people to take from you, allowed people to take advantage of you, you need to do the internal work to address why that is, what you need to do differently, so that you don't carry that with you wherever you go in the world. Because narcissists, sociopaths are attracted to people, right? And know how to attract people who they can take advantage of. So you don't want to make yourself the target of those kinds of people. And a simple thing of having boundaries and really and truly loving and respecting yourself will allow you not to do that. I have observed more than one occasion where I live, as I travel in Mexico and elsewhere, I see American women, not just black women, but American women allowing men to financially take advantage of them. I've seen women paying men's rent. I've seen women paying for men to travel. I've seen women basically paying for men to be with them. A lot of them are older women. I'm just saying, make sure that you don't become one of those people when you move abroad or when you travel. I don't care how far through the mattress he might be putting you. Don't do it. Okay? Don't be anybody's sugar mama. Right? And you have to be willing to be single if necessary and keep your self-respect, rather than having to pay for somebody's company. And I see people do it all the time. I ain't trying to do that. I ain't doing it. I'll rather spend every moment of my life alone than be subsidizing somebody else's life for company. And so I want to be transparent that these things are real. They happen. You have to be very careful, because the word is out that black women are coming to Europe to find men. And some of these men are going to try to scam you and take advantage of you because they think you're desperate. So if you're not a desperate woman, don't conduct yourself like one. Men understand standards and requirements. That's one of the truest things I've ever heard anyone say about them. It's true. What you require of them is what they are going to do. So you make sure that they understand that if they want to be in your company, they are going to be doing the heavy lifting. They are going to have to plan the dates. They are going to have to make it interesting for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be there. And like I said before, if it feels off in any kind of way, don't do it. Don't go. Don't participate. Don't do it. Because I do see women allowing themselves to be taken advantage of. And I would really like those who follow me to hear what I'm saying and don't be one of those women. We deserve better. We deserve to be honored, treated with respect wherever we go, whether it's in our home country or elsewhere. But the only way that's going to happen is if you honor and treat yourself with respect, because how you move and what you require of people is what you are going to get. So I hope that this is received in the spirit in which it is being given. As I think about the things that I am grateful for, one of the things that I'm most grateful for is learning to treat myself with love and respect, which is not something I always did, right? And I'm being fully transparent because I feel like none of us know how to do these things perfectly. Most of us were not schooled on these things growing up. It was always emphasized to me to pursue an education, to make sure I was financially independent, to make sure I was able to take care of myself. But I wasn't necessarily well schooled about how to conduct romantic relationships per se, right? And most of us weren't. So even though my parents, I never saw my parents be disrespectful to each other. My parents were married for more than 50 years before my mother passed away. But even though you see something doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to do it. And so we have to teach ourselves how to do these things. And one of the things start with you really loving and respecting yourself and being willing to be alone rather than being disrespected. Because sociopaths and narcissists, they can smell the desperation and they will take advantage of you. And as we can see in the Danish deception story, this woman did not respect herself. She desperately wanted to be in the company of a white man, and she was willing to be scammed and taken advantage to get that. She was willing to exchange her self-respect to be in a company of a man who financially took advantage of not just her, but her family and friends. And so if you don't want to be one of those people, we have to put aside this narrative, oh, they love us over here and oh, they love us over there, and deal with people on an individual basis. And don't give desperation when you're traveling, when you're at home, wherever you are. If you move abroad, this is also very important. So I wanted to put that out there because I've been thinking about it for a while and thinking, should I say anything about this in this way? But I really do feel that we have to be honest and realistic about what this is like. And I'm not saying every man you meet is a scammer and every man you meet is trying to get money from you. But a lot of them, they hear your accent, they find out you're American, and they see dollar signs. Right? They hear your accent. They find out you're American. They see that you're Black American. They on TikTok too. And they see these narratives and they think this is an opportunity to take advantage of someone. So like I always say, travel, enjoy yourself, follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Don't do anything abroad that you wouldn't do at home. And first and foremost, treat yourself with love and respect. And generally speaking, the rest will follow. I hope you guys found this video and commentary helpful. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, but do so respectfully and constructively. And I wish you all a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in the next video.